This Oliver Tree situation keeps getting stranger the more you look into it. So Oliver Tree passes away at 32 2 weeks before his 33rd birthday, shortly before his trip to Brazil.
Being accused of being an undercover agent for Mossad.
Yeah.
What is your response to these allegations?
You know, since I'm Palm Beach Pete in 2005.
I don't know about you, but I no longer recognize this world that we live in anymore. We are watching Rome fall in real time. We're watching what happens when you...
Stands for non-player character. These people are literally, like you say, base level conscious people. They just stick to the script. These are the people that's going to graduate, go to college, find a wife.
These ancient Sumerian cylinder seals were engraved with instructions on how to create portals into any point in space and time. Stargates, one of which is hidden in Iraq, the OG homeland of the Sumerians. The US government got a hold.
Alright, y'all, welcome back to the Foundation. A1 Luck here, and you tuned into The Awakening, a channel where each one teach one and the truth shall set you free. Now please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And remember, everything in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And I thank everyone for being beautiful subscribers, and I love all the comments. Now without further ado, let's get woke, people.
This Oliver Tree situation keeps getting stranger the more you look into it. So Oliver Tree passes away at 32 2 weeks before his 33rd birthday. Shortly before his trip to Brazil, he collaborates with another Mexican artist named Malcriada, and together they make a Mr. Pizza series, which is supposed to be this dreamlike weird core aesthetic. They're teaching kids to be aware of adults offering things like gifts and candy and Roblox cards for no reason. Teaching kids to be aware of strangers asking to meet them alone, basically teaching kids to spot the danger signs. And the bad guy in the video is named Mr. Pizza. And I'm sure we all know what pizza is by now. If not, you've probably been living under a rock. Now keep in mind, Oliver Tree left Atlantic Records on the 1st of April saying that he was frustrated with the label. And apparently he said it was like a nightmare. He was trying to release his album Love You Madly, Hate You Badly, and it was cancelled. Fast forward, he releases his album independently by himself after leaving Atlantic Records. Around the same time, he starts dropping these videos with Mr. Pizza. Now, I'm not saying anything for sure, I'm just saying that the timeline is interesting. But let me know what you guys think.
So why did you want to go spend a year, was it a year in Antarctica?
Yeah.
Why'd you want to spend a year in Antarctica in the first place? That's like a place people don't actually go to.
Right. Well, since I was a kid, since I was about six and a half, I had this dream to go to Antarctica. It was always one of my biggest dreams. And through the process of this album, I actually went back to Antarctica after that. I started in Antarctica, and then I went to all the 7 continents. Even before that, I had gone to all the 7 continents, like leading into Antarctica. In like a matter of 3 months, I was kind of like getting really addicted to travel. But it wasn't until I went to Antarctica where I actually became an adventurer and a traveler. It opened up my mind. The people I was with, they were traveling at such a crazy level that was also part of my learning experience of truly even minimizing more and living even more free form, trying to be able to be a real explorer. And when you're around people that do it at a really high level, even in Antarctica, I had met these people and I was like, holy shit, I haven't even begun to travel. And then after leaving Antarctica is when I really ramped it up, really took it to the next level. Spent time living with the Maasai tribe.
Who are they?
In their Pood tribe. Sorry?
Who is the Maasai tribe?
Their tribe based primarily in Tanzania, but they basically are nomads, so they're traveling around. But it was insane. They hit me up on Instagram in the DMs. They have an Instagram where they try different foods, like eat spicy stuff they never ate before, different things. They don't have running water. They don't have electricity. They have a solar panel that they can plug in. Like a few people in the tribe have a cell phone. And it was insane. They somehow elected me to be a chief, which I was elected with 4 other people. So there's a lot of chiefs there. But I bought them the gift of a cow, and they cut the cow's throat, and we drank the blood, and they poured a bunch of milk on me. That was part of the chief ritual process. But it was insane. Like so many journeys, you know, like went to Afghanistan, went to Iraq, stayed in mud houses there, stayed in so many random, I stayed in the caves of Petra. I had so many fucking crazy journeys. It was insane.
Really?
Yes. Why would I make that up?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it was epic. It was crazy. There was a lot of gnarly stuff I seen. I definitely had a few close calls, but I feel blessed. And actually, through the travels, I had so much more trust for humanity. There was a few close calls or people I was with were like, dude, put your phone away. They're going to steal it. You know, there's certain places where phones can get stolen very easily. And that's probably one of the primary concerns, because if you're traveling by yourself and you don't really have a way to contact people, that can be challenging. But I had so much trust, and maybe too much trust, but I had so much incredible connections to humans, and I actually felt more trust for humanity than I ever could have imagined just by exploring.
Top secret feature film, the first ever major label artist to record. I'm giving an interview about alien bases, and one shows up right behind me. This is a daily thing here. This is something that has kept me in Antarctica because I want to know more. And without the proper military support, I can't go. A lot of people are scared and they come at it from a fear angle. But for me, I come from an open heart and open arms. And I welcome the aliens in, and that's why I've had so many interactions with UFO ships. That's why I've seen them time after time. Further ado, this is the one-man band, 369 days in the Antarctica.
The real theory of why Oliver Tree was killed was because he was gonna release a documentary about Antarctica. Oh! Do you know about that? That's the thing, like, people don't take him serious. So he was on an interview, and he was like, yo, I was in Antarctica playing a gig for like 20 people. But then I saw in Reddit, he was gonna drop a whole documentary with his album talking about the conspiracies of Antarctica. And he was saying he found the ice wall, and he found an entrance to the hollow earth, Carlos.
They're right, that small one, that's probably for a smaller ship. Get a close up of that.
This is him in Antarctica.
Get a chance to go up in there. Are you fucking shitting? 1, 2, 3, 4.
And he was gonna release this with the album. And then so this is the intro of the documentary. It got leaked.
Trying to get some recordings of the penguins for the album to use for some new synths. They're not very noisy today. I gotta get some of the piano penguins. Those things are insane, dude. They're so loud. I went and recorded the piano penguins. They're 18, I believe it's 17 different vocal cords. Very similar style to the throat singing that they do in Asia as well as Northern Africa. And I make synthesis out of the penguins. Nobody is doing this. But I can take something so horrible sounding and turn it into something so beautiful. Behind me is the largest colony of piano penguins right here on the Antarctic Peninsula. The most loud and obnoxious of all the penguins, famous for 18 different vocal cords inside the center of their throat. It modulates between chords and sounds like a really out-of-key piano. Obnoxious would be an understatement. They also smell like shit. If you can imagine 50,000 babies' diapers being unloaded in a semi-truck in front of your front door, that's what I'm experiencing right about now. Don't even get me started on the piano penguins. Their fucking dookie smells like a nuclear poopy. If you're lucky enough to make it out to Antarctica, I would highly suggest skipping this portion of the trip. Let's go.
I just took a shit.
You know that there was a team of scientists who actually measured how far that it can shoot the poo-poo out, because one scientist got hit while he was eating a sandwich. Now it's some fucking end of the world conspiracy that the fucking global warming is making the poo bigger. No, the poo has always been the problem with the piano penguins. That's always been the problem. It's not global warming. They're just shitty species. That's all. Fucking annoying. They sound like shit. They smell even worse. Over it.
Been accused of being an undercover agent for Mossad.
Yeah.
What is your response to these allegations?
You know, since I'm Palm Beach Pete, in 2005, I went to Israel for the first time to play in a Jewish competition called the Maccabi Games, which I'm sure you're aware of. And my first round opponent actually was the head of the Mossad.
Just a joke, or you're serious?
Dead serious.
Okay, well, that's not at all what I meant when I said that, but you're... Fucking guy's a fucking piece of shit, Rabbi. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you were about to say something.
Counsel is mischaracterizing the evidence.
No, I'm not. That's not true at all. He just said that he played him. I couldn't play the head of Mossad.
No, that was my first round opponent. I didn't get to choose my opponent. It's done out of the...
When I meant that you were an undercover agent, I mean with all of the blackmail that you got on like U.S. and other foreign politicians along with celebrities.
Palm Beach Pete hasn't been an undercover agent. He's a retired real estate executive.
And a banker.
No, I was never a banker.
How did you get all that money? Why did you play him? Was he a professional in tennis, or he used his Mossad ranking to get to play?
I played in the Maccabi Games. It's a Jewish Olympics, which you're aware of. And
why would I be aware of that?
Because I think you're Jewish, aren't you?
I'm not Jewish.
I thought you were Jewish.
No.
What are you?
No, I'm German.
Okay.
I was always German, but now I'm just not Jewish.
Gotcha. Anyhow, it's every 4 years in Israel, and I played because I wanted to win gold medals.
And where did you visit in Israel? What cities?
The games where I were playing were in Tel Aviv. I went to Jerusalem, and that was it.
Where did you go in Jerusalem?
I went to the wall, and I went to a restaurant, and that was about it. I didn't have a lot of time because I was competing and winning all my matches.
You know, if you're going to pretend that you're not Epstein, you might as well come up with a better lie. I mean, you went to the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem to play against the Mossad, head of Mossad.
You're not listening. My matches were in Tel Aviv. I had 1 day off.
You had 1 day off and you spent it going to the wall.
And I went to Jerusalem.
That sounds even worse.
Why?
Jesus Christ. Was your plan always to pretend to kill yourself and then reappear a few years later as your own lookalike?
I wish I was that smart. Would you kill yourself?
If I was accused maybe of what you got accused of, then I might so do it. If I knew that I had the way to tinker myself into culture like you have done today.
Right. No, I'm just me. It just happened to look like him a little bit.
So you've looked like this all your life?
I've gotten older over the years.
And your job now is kind of being a social media influencer?
Yeah.
Do you prefer that over like banking and all that other stuff?
You know, it's a third career for me, so it's a lot of fun. And I'm just having a blast, and it's very interesting meeting guys like you.
Like me?
Yeah, no, seriously, Matan, you guys are amazing. You're brilliant. What you do, what you're able to create, and because everyone's trying to do it, but you've risen to the top, and I'm hanging with you guys, so it's a fucking blast.
I appreciate it. And do you prefer this over banking and all the blackmail stuff, or because this is a little calmer, or you had more power back then, so you kind of...
I like them both. But this is fun because my age, how many guys get to do what I'm doing? Nobody.
It's a good point. How old are you now?
71.
I don't think Epstein would be 71, and I believe you're him.
Alright, y'all. First few clips is crazy like always, man. I just had to get back into the olive tree thing because it's just crazy, man. To find out more and more what he was about and what he was doing, actually trying to do. Oh man, all praises to that man, Oliver Tree, man. But I mean, sometimes they wait till it's too late, cause but it's better late than never anyway. But to know he even had a show that he was doing about like basically a pizza show. If y'all understand the pizza stuff, like he was going against it. The show was to make fun of that, to show these kids not to fall for these things that these elites been doing and the way they've been luring the kids in. And I guess he had a show that was showing them all the ins and outs and what not to do and what to do. And the guy with the pizza head, and I mean, it's strategic. And then on top of that, now to see that he was doing a documentary on Antarctica and the ice walls, and what he was saying, like the world is surrounded by this wall, like it's crazy. And then right before his 33rd birthday, he's unalive. Like, this is crazy, man. Prayers go out to his family and stuff, man. I wish I knew about this guy sooner. I wish that he would have started doing things like this sooner. And then the last two clips, 5 and 6, is basically Palm Beach Pete, man. I just had to throw that in there again too, like, because we let up off these things sometime while they still playing in our face, but it's crazy to see the questions you've been asked, the places you've been, the money you have, and it's like it's all a joke, you understand? But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section.
We've seen, actually have talked about a false alien invasion before. I don't know when the last time I did a video on this. It could have been a year ago. They have the technology, okay, to essentially, there's two different things that they could do, okay? One is they have the technology to project giant UFOs, so it would be like a projection in the sky. They also have things like drone technology that they could make look like UFOs, and okay, I've had firsthand experience with reversed engineered extraterrestrial technology that the shadow governments use. I had an encounter in Arizona with a giant black triangle spacecraft. And when I went to go remote view what beings were on this spacecraft and telepathically communicate to them, they weren't telepathically communicating with me, so I was a little bit confused until I went up to them and saw that they were all humans in military fatigues and realized, of course, they can't see me and they can't talk to me because they're literally just human. In a giant spacecraft that they reverse engineered. So they could also very easily stage a false alien invasion utilizing their own spacecraft that look exactly like extraterrestrial technology. Not to mention they've got DEWs, which is direct energy weapons. We've seen them work with these direct energy weapons for years now, okay? And they could literally just beam some shit down from the sky and blow some shit up and blame aliens, okay? There are many different ways in which they could stage this, is what I'm saying. Now, the bigger question is why? Why would they stage a false alien invasion? And there's a lot of reasons for this, okay? Obviously, one reason is for a distraction. One reason is for fear, to create fear. Now, what's fascinating is the biggest reason they would create a false alien invasion, well, there's a lot of reasons, but there's two big ones. One, it would create a global enemy. It's not this country, it's not this terrorist, it's not this guy, it's not this person, it's not this religion. It is a force completely off planet. And if the entire world were to feel vulnerable and have a common enemy, then the censorship, the restrictions, the limitations for our survival, for our better good, for our protection, right, could come into play, and it could be draped over the entire planet to help protect us. I actually have talked about a false alien invasion before.
The great lie is that there are two sides to the society, that is the rich and the poor. And the great truth is that there are two sides that are the makers and the takers. The lie is that the rich are unfairly rich and the poor are unfairly poor, and therefore the poor must take from the rich. But the truth is that it's the takers that tell you that lie. That the real truth is that artists, plumbers, electricians, woodworkers, computer scientists, people that build, people that make shit from all walks of life, all income levels, all wealth brackets, are the makers. And the takers are what Sachs calls this intelligentsia, the analysts, the espousers, the armchair mechanics, the critics, the commentators, the politicians. They are the takers. They are the people that watch the rest of society make stuff, build stuff, specifically doing things that create value for other people in society. That's what a maker is. Tell my kids this lesson all the time. I say, what did you guys make today? They tell me something they made, and I'm like, did someone else value it, or did you make it just for yourself? At the end of the day, if you made something and someone else valued it, you were a maker. That was an amazing achievement. That is a great day. Whether you make a piece of art, whether you build a house, whether you write a piece of software, whether you build a business, whatever you make, if you're a maker and someone else values it, they become your customer in some way, they become your partner in some way, you've done something valuable. Those are the true engines of progress for humanity. And the takers are the ones that tell the lie that it's rich versus poor, because what they want to do is rip apart the makers. And they want to tell everyone you got to be on one side or the other, and they use that lie to get everyone to line up against each other and to give themselves ultimately the control to form the great American Politburo, which is what they're trying to create. That is what's underway right now, and that is the fundamental great truth and great lie that we're kind of fighting against at this moment.
I don't know about you, but I no longer recognize this world that we live in anymore. We are watching Rome fall in real time. We're watching what happens when you turn your back on God. We're watching the normalization of satanic worship everywhere, on our TV screens, on our phones, over the radio, in our movie theaters, and yet 95% of the world has no problem with it. 95% of the world sees no issue with what is going on. Pastors everywhere are just staying in the shadows, not saying a single word because they don't want to offend anybody. We are living in the last days, and just like God tells us, evil will continue to get worse, and we are watching it. But to everybody else, this is just music. This is just entertainment. There's nothing to be worried about. What's wrong with that? Christians everywhere are trying to warn the world about what is coming, and yet we are labeled as the crazy ones.
Because you need that in your back pocket. You got to know, like, okay, yeah, we knew about tribes, but then we didn't know California was named after a black goddess, and it was an actual tribe called the Californians, and that they were a tribe of all black goddesses who was fucking shit up. Mystically, supernatural type beings using telekinesis, pyrokinesis, geokinesis, real avatar type vibes. Yes, real Aang energy. You ever seen the Avatar with the little boy Aang? Real Aang energy. It's a real thing, man. This is a real element you can control, man. You are connected to all of this. They can't let you know that. They want to keep the land. They can't keep the land if you know that. You gonna feel different about it. You see, they were so cold-blooded, they couldn't let you know. She's a science fiction story. Look at that. Nigga, you can look up on the Wikipedia, nigga, they gonna say the same thing. Queen Khalifa is a science fiction story written, just disrespect us.
It's alien invasion, I don't know. But like she said, it could be Project Blue Beam also. So, you know, we gotta be aware. But some of us is gonna see through it as to whether it is real or fake. We gonna see through it. But more than likely, you know, Project Blue Beam is out there, and they're gonna try something to have the masses in the uproar and in so much fear that, you know, we gonna have to go with what they plans are, what they want to do, or, you know, because so much people gonna be scared probably. But more than likely, I don't know, it's just to keep an eye open for this Project Blue Beam and make sure we can differentiate what's real and what's not. You know, but let me know how y'all feel about that. In the second clip, I mean, that's how this world goes sometimes. But it's crazy that you got people that really make things, invent things, come up with things, and then you got others that take it, you know, and then they take it for their own, just like all these tech companies. A lot of them, you hear their backstories, and this one's stealing this one idea, and that one's stealing this one blueprint, or buying the blueprint, or whatever the case may be. And they end up at the forefront, but they not the ones that really made anything. They took it all. But remember, everything in this video for educational and entertainment purposes only, y'all. But yeah, let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. The third clip is basically crazy because it goes back to the music industry, and like, what are we watching sometimes with these videos and what they show and what they portray? It's like, what are we watching? And why is it being broadcasted on the level it is, and nobody's saying nothing? And not nobody as far as us, or like preachers, you know, pastors and stuff like that, like people up there, like to see like these rituals in these videos, these sacrifices, they show you all this, like it's crazy, you know. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. In the fourth clip too, it's like, I never knew it had a Khalifa, Queen Khalifa, I guess it's a California, was named after a black woman named Queen Khalifa. But it's crazy that, and then the black, like, it had a tribe of just black women, just go, like a tribe of just women, you understand? And this sounds a lot to me like the Wonder Woman story, you understand? She was on this place, nothing but strong women doing what they do, had no men there. That's, you know, the story of Wonder Woman, if y'all know, just check into it. It basically, it's like a depiction of what this is, you understand? Like, it's just crazy how these people just come along and take a piece of everything. They take it, rename it, rebrand it, and rewash it. And we don't know nothing about it until we find out, but it's good that we dig deep to find out. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section.
These ancient Sumerian cylinder seals were engraved with instructions on how to create portals into any point in space and time. Stargates, one of which is hidden in Iraq, the OG homeland of the Sumerians. The US government got a hold of these seals in their instructions in the 40s, which they used to create their own portal in Project Looking Glass. This Looking Glass viewfinder was used in various rumored projects, like the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk project, and even the Vatican's chronovisor. So they started using this machine to locate more Sumerian cylinders, whose knowledge they could use to further expand on this technology and make it more and more powerful. The problem was these cylinders were mainly located in Iraq, and the political climate over there made them pretty hard to attain, to say the least. Even stranger, in the 1980s, one of the first things then newly elected Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein did after he came into power was restoring and fortifying the Ziggurat of Ur, one of the key archaeological sites in the historic discovery of the ancient Sumerian city of Ur, and exactly where one of these stargates is said to be hidden. So the pressure was on. A rogue dictator potentially had access to reality-altering technology that he was gatekeeping all for himself. So the Americans launched Operation Desert Storm into Iraq in 1991, the Gulf War, under the guise of liberating Kuwait from Iraqi occupation. But the rumors claiming they were really after those Sumerian cylinder seals. This was stage one, during which time Russian newspaper Pravda reported that Russian Colonel Petrokov witnessed a UFO get shot down from the sky in Iraq during this conflict, all on record. His description of which are exactly what UAPs are said to look like today, and the Iraqis recovered the downed craft, keeping the technology for themselves. Tension was building. Saddam Hussein was potentially in possession of the most powerful technology in history, and the US was getting nervous. Then, in 2003, German archaeologist Jörg Fassbinder was investigating ancient sites in Iraq and found something that once again changed everything. Using radar technology, he discovered an entire ancient city complex beneath the desert around the region of Uruk, the home of Gilgamesh, an ancient Sumerian demigod king who was also a giant and thought to be just a myth. This underground complex hosted an advanced system of water canals, leading publications to call it the Venice of the desert. This was huge. On the outskirts of this ancient city was what appeared to be a burial site, thought to be none other than the tomb of Gilgamesh himself. Fassbinder and his team go to the authorities to let them know what they found and start formal excavations. The Iraqi government got involved, meaning Saddam Hussein caught interest in this find as well. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back, because just a month later, in that exact same year, 2003, the US invades Iraq, and excavation is halted due to the war. Stage 2. Not only that, but the US military actually built a base directly over the site that was getting excavated, with many locals claiming to have seen American soldiers digging at night and transporting artifacts back home for study. And as we know today, the invasion of Iraq was a complete lie. That's just a fact. President Bush said to have invaded because of WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, which there later turned out to be none. It was also supposed to be a response to certain attacks that happened on US soil in September 2001, but Iraq had nothing to do with those. There's even leaked audio of military intelligence admitting they went to Iraq for the primary purpose of collecting artifacts.
And you know, something's wrong. It's a whole world of deceit. We're going into Iraq to get artifacts? Not to get anything but artifacts. That was the most important thing, they said.
But which artifacts?
I don't know. They just said artifacts. There were things in Iraq that were so old that we had to go get. And Bush wanted those artifacts. It was very important.
Did we get them? And if so, where did they go?
We got them. They said they got everything they needed from that country.
Where is it?
I don't know. We have it. Like you're looking for the Ark of the Covenant type stuff.
Then the news headlines came out reporting on organized looting of the National Museum of Iraq, where civilians saw military units taking off with over 15,000 artifacts, with many formal reports of the US returning stolen artifacts dating as far back as 3000 BC back to Iraq after the war, admitting they took them. And the weirdest part is they only took very specific artifacts from that museum, leaving behind more intrinsically valuable objects like like gold medals and statues, while taking artifacts with lesser material worth, like cylinder seals. Clearly, they were looking for something. So it's said the 2003 invasion of Iraq had nothing to do with Saddam, WMDs, Al-Qaeda, or even oil, but rather for the continued search of ancient Sumerian cylinder seals, locating the Stargate and the Tomb of Gilgamesh. Valuable artifacts and technology the US could not afford losing to Iraq. Maybe it was a different type of weapon of mass destruction they were referring to. Even educated scholars like Dr. Michael Salah believed this and wrote an academic paper explicitly stating that Saddam having Stargate portals was the real reason for the war. Head to the Department of State website and search Gilgamesh. You can even find the formal request for his body entomb yourself buried in Hillary's infamous emails. Speaking of Hillary, the recent Clinton deposition where both her and Bill testified before Congress about the Epstein files, where Representative Anna Paulina Luna specifically asked Hillary about Gilgamesh, and she had this to say.
Have you ever denied access, or did you ever inquire on the topic of UAP or Gilgamesh in your official or personal capacity? Why?
I was never denied access because I never asked for access.
Rather than outright denying it, she claims she just never asked for access, and then sort of gives a nod like, you know what I mean? Well, in 2026, we might have seen something similar to the 2003 Iraq invasion happen in Iran, which, being Iraq's neighbor, also holds many artifacts of the same nature, as Iranian officials relocated and secured ancient artifacts from their National Museum of Iran in Tehran to prevent the looting like in Iraq in 2003, with some reports pointing out that this museum stores hundreds of thousands of artifacts in the basement that are unavailable for public viewing, of which make up approximately 98% of the artifacts stored there that we, the public, are not allowed to see. Meaning the vast majority of artifacts and information from the ancient world is purposely hidden, and are maybe being stashed away to keep that knowledge in the hands of as few as possible. So what are they hiding over there, and can the instructions stored in them really be used to access and build ancient Sumerian stargates?
Researchers have rated the best and worst cities in the case of zombie apocalypse. Economic Modeling Specialists International ranked cities on their ability to defend against a zombie attack, stockpiling food, containing zombies, finding a cure. And if you live in New York City, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're toast. The city got the worst rating, followed by Tampa, Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino, California. Southern California really stinks. And Chicago, so the nation's three biggest cities, right? Best place to be? Boston. The city was rated as the place you most likely would survive. Other contenders here: Salt Lake City, Columbus, Ohio, Baltimore, Virginia Beach, and Norfolk, Virginia. But, I just have a problem with this, right? Here I live in New York City, and I will admit that Manhattan may not be the best place to survive a zombie apocalypse. Number one, the food is going to go really fast. Number two, they can climb stairs, and as everyone knows, your buildings go up really high. But think if you live in Brooklyn, also part of New York City, or Staten Island. You could contain the threat to Manhattan and still have lots of farmland to grow food. I think if you live in Brooklyn, you'll be just fine. I'm not a scientist.
The first clip, basically, something. I just had to throw that in there because when we invade these countries, I actually be thinking it's war and it's this going on, but it's actually other things that's happening. You understand? Like, it's crazy to know they invaded Iraq because of these Sumerian tablets that'll basically break down and show you the ways to get to these portals or to open portals up. It's crazy. That's why I tell you, they don't never let us know the real. But let me know if y'all believe this, and let me know what y'all know about it in the comment section, please. And then the second clip is basically, it's a lot going on for these last week or two I've been seeing about zombies, so I just have to throw something in there. It's like, why is this talk even around? Like, why is it even a subject as to where zombies, like, as to how they said zombies could never really be the way they show it? But I don't know. If anyone y'all know anything better, let me know, because it's crazy that even the news is starting to broadcast zombies and what cities or what states might be the safest or the non-safest. Like, what are they trying to tell us here? What are they trying to prepare us for here, if anything? You understand? But let me know what y'all feel about this. And for the third clip, it's basically a movie showing the truth again and what they think. And they call it Anunnaki, the engineer, but you see they had tablets from every civilization, every different civilization they all have tablets on these people. Like, it goes back to the makers and the takers. They make it, they take it, and then we don't see it, but yet they show us in these movies that these beings and these portals and these things is always there. They're around, you know. But the elites is the one that's always on top of that, though. We don't know nothing. I mean, some of us do, but a lot of us don't really know, you know. So the elites, they're on top of that. That's why they always have the information and do what they do and know how to use it so well. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section.
So why do you think Earth is so important to them? Why is it such of a great interest to the Council, the Galactic Federation of Light?
So here's what they said. It is a really big concept, so I will summarize it
All right, I'm ready.
as succinctly as possible, okay? So they told me that a very, very long time ago, they had a mystic, is what they called her, that was a part of the Galactic Federation of Light, and she had this vision. And this vision was of a civilization that was very, very unique. And this civilization was going to be a combination of some of the highest vibrational and most advanced extraterrestrials in the galaxy.
Okay.
And some of the lowest vibrational extraterrestrials in the galaxy. Okay. And that this hybrid, this super important hybrid race, okay, was meant to end the war of all wars in the universe.
What's that?
Because they were that powerful. But before they did that, they would have to make a choice. And the choice that this hybrid race would have to make is, are they going to ascend to the highest capabilities of their DNA and unlock their hybrid DNA in the highest vibration? Or are they going to essentially fall to the lowest vibrational and unlock their lower vibrational DNA of that survival energy? And that choice is theirs. And so this mystic called this planet and this civilization the prophecy planet. Okay?
Wow, okay.
So a very long time ago, right, planet Earth was essentially formed. And then initially what happened was the reptilians came here, okay, a very, very long time ago. And they were the most intelligent and most dominant race and species on this planet. Okay, they were here at the time of the dinosaurs and whatnot, okay? And then we sort of evolved Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this sort of giant race of what look like humanoids. And this is everything that I've remote viewed, but also been told by the Galactic Federation. This giant race of humanoids.
Like the Anunnaki or something different?
So the Anunnaki, right, came to this planet and they wanted to mine resources from this planet. They didn't have enough, of the Anunnaki to help mine the resources. The reptilians did not want to help them. And so the Anunnaki said, okay, well, we're going to then create a race of slaves that can, by gene splicing, that can help us mine these resources. The reptilians were against it, but the Anunnaki said, if we create this race, we will help you splice your genetics with them as well. Okay?
Okay.
Because the reptilians believe, right? And this is the whole power control dynamic. They believe that this planet is theirs. They believe that this planet is rightfully owned by them because they were here, quote unquote, first.
Yeah.
And I understand that perspective.
Yeah.
I also understand sharing is caring. Okay, that's what I teach my son.
Yeah.
So that's how, human beings were evolved initially. That was our big, evolutionary leap. That's the gap that science just can't tell us how we got from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Anunnaki, then the reptilians splicing their DNA with us.
Wait, just to be clear though, so we're not just Anunnaki spliced, we also have reptilian genetics inside of us?
Every single one of us has reptilian as well.
I've heard about the serpent brain before.
Well, think about that, the reptilian brain.
Yeah,
like
reptilian
scientifically, we've got the reptilian brain, which is the fight, flight, or freeze mechanism. It's our survival mechanism, right?
Okay.
And so once the Anunnaki and the reptilian got involved in sort of genetically altering us and creating us, this is when the Galactic Federation of Light was tipped off that this planet might actually be the prophecy planet. Because you have a very low species, low vibrational density species, and you've got a very high vibrational species like the Anunnaki, very highly advanced species like the Anunnaki coming together to seed a human. And that's when other species got involved in planet Earth. I believe that the Greys, the Pleiadians, the Angelics, and then many, many others. I believe that we have up to, 20 different extraterrestrial DNA strands within us to essentially create this grand hybrid experiment, therefore creating the prophecy planet.
So we're all hybrids.
We are all hybrids. Yes. We are all very important hybrids.
All right, just for absolute clarity, can you just simply define what a prophecy planet is, or why you consider Earth a prophecy planet?
Yeah, so the prophecy planet I would define as, you know, a planet that holds a civilization that is meant to change the galactic landscape forever. So I always compare human beings to Superman before Superman knew he was Superman.
Okay, I like that.
We are extraordinarily gifted. We are extraordinarily unique and different compared to other civilizations, especially third density civilizations out there. And this is why there has been so much engagement. This is why there has been so much activity from both good and not so good ET races around planet Earth, because we are essentially their sons and daughters, and our choice in the vibration that we're going to end up in, the DNA that we are going to access, is really going to have an impact on them eventually.
What did you mean that we would end the war of wars, or we could end the war of wars? What does that mean? What is the war of wars?
Yeah, okay. So for millennia, for really since the dawning of the entire universe, there has been polarity, okay? And within polarity, you have light and dark, right? It's a spectrum of frequencies. And for a very long time, the light has been battling the dark has been battling the light. And sort of my question is why, right? Why is that even needing to happen? And it's because, from what I understand, the lower vibrational races are very service to self, which means any chance they can get to gain more power, more resources, you know, to manipulate, to attract, to, you know, attach, you know, themselves to more, they're going to do it, right? They're here for themselves and their own evolution. The light, or the good guys, or the Galactic Federation, for example, they are here to make sure that there is a balance in the universe and that everyone is abiding by the laws of the universe. And because the not so good guys don't abide by the laws of the universe, they essentially have to be the governing body to keep them in line.
Got it.
Therefore, there has been a battle going on, light and dark battle.
But we could be part of the solution to end that permanently?
Exactly. So, from what I've seen, our future, the future version of humans are going to be so powerful that we keep the bad guys in line. And there's also something...
I got the chills. Oof.
Yeah. And there's also something to be said as well about, because we are their sons and daughters, it's almost like they listen to us or respect us as well in this sense. Like think about it. The reptilians have their subset of special abilities, the technology advancement. We don't just have reptilian in us. We have Anunnaki, we have Pleiadian, we have angelic, we have gray. We have all of the tools
We're
and
either
the
best or worst of all these races.
Exactly. And with those special abilities, we can essentially keep both sides in line, both sides in check. And this is why there has been sort of a dark manipulation to keep us small, to keep us distracted, to keep us forgetting who we truly are. And this is why I believe the biggest cover-up in human history is the cover-up of extraterrestrials.
Yes.
Because if we were to all believe that there is something more out there in the universe, that is a seed that is planted within us that is going to eventually wake us up to realize that we are actually one of them.
That awareness alone could transcend us.
Exactly.
Stands for non-player character. These people are literally, like you say, base level conscious people. They just stick to the script. These are the people that's going to graduate, go to college, find a wife, have children, pay taxes, and die. There's no real purpose outside of that with these people. These people are here to assist you with your reality. But these are things that have been used against us every day. This is the masses, the sleepwalkers, the people that line up for Jordans, the people that line up for the new iPhone. These are people that are of the world and don't think nothing past as far as they can see. So if you got a husband, a wife, a cousin, a brother, a sister, a daddy, mama, that you try to instill things in that's not their fault, they're actually playing their role, their purpose. But you must understand there's a lot of people like me and you that are more conscious about what's going on around us. So therefore, you don't fall into this slump or you don't be imprisoned by what you know, because I've been there. I've gotten to the fact where I'm like, man, what the fuck going on? Am I the only one looking at this shit? And then I had to realize there's a lot of people that surrounding us that are called NPCs, okay? You must understand this is a simulation we living in. And once you understand that, you can raise your consciousness and be aware of why you're raising your consciousness. Be aware of why other people are not raising their consciousness. So you can stay sane. You ain't got to beat yourself up as a thinking like, damn, I'm the only one see this shit. You just like beating a dead horse. And once you understand that, you would look at some of these people, and I say it all the time, doesn't matter if they got PhDs, it doesn't matter if they got shit, you name it, all type of degrees as what we call education. It doesn't matter. These people are consciously asleep. Actually, the more education you get from school, the further from the truth you become. You must understand, bro. People do shit they know ain't right and then blame themselves for doing it. This is like a new stupid dumb. This is why you got common sense. Because when you think about it, none of this shit makes sense. Go to work for what? You're a damn slave your whole life. The best slave is a slave that doesn't know he or she is a slave. Why? Because you're not gonna run. Why? Because I don't have to lock the gate. I don't have to physically beat you like they did back in the days to make you comply or to make you commit servitude. I don't have to do that. All I gotta do is enslave your mind. If I control what you think, then I control you. I control what you do and don't do. Places you go and don't go. Things you fear and don't fear. This is why they want to control us going to their schools. They have to be the one to program us first, to get us under that bullshit ass programming, so therefore later on in life we can be controlled. So when you see these people who don't know what you know, who ain't trying to know what you know, who ain't trying to research nothing, they just go with the script they've been handed, right? This is why. And it's sad because they've been robbed of their reality. They've been robbed of their whole lives. They've been put here to basically go by a script that's going to ensure their whole life that they'll never learn and that they'll be running off a cliff 100 miles per hour and don't even understand why or how. You're going to participate in your own goddamn destruction flawlessly. You don't want to be no NPC. You don't want to be a person without purpose. I'm bringing clarity to why it's so disturbing when you try to open people's eyes and they either don't want to open them or they ain't going to open them.
For the first clip, how y'all feel about what Elizabeth April was saying about basically humanity and you know, the Galactic Federation and what's really going on out there? I don't know. This, she said she, you know, I don't know. She get the insights or what certain people, I don't know. They woke to certain levels, but let me know how y'all feel about her interview. And the second clip is NPCs. You know, like it's like the non-player characters out there, but it's not like. But to me, it's like the NPCs are the people that's just completely brainwashed, ain't gonna change, don't want to change, love the life we live in, and just want to live on, live it out, you know. And that's basically what I see as the NPCs, you know. These people don't care to wake up or don't care to, you know. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the conversation.
When you came to this planet, you were gods. And at that particular time, you had what was called cosmic memory. And all you had to do is remember, because the simple fact that the actual pineal gland and you actually was in communication with your brothers and sisters in the spiritual world. So what happened when you die is you thinking the people dead. No, you the one that's dead. Those people are now gone to life. But in the old reincarnation system, they would have to hang around for a few years, but even if they didn't get it right, they would have to come back and do it over again. It's like a big classroom. When you die and you don't do it right down here, you got to come back again. But as a result, the new reincarnation cycle is now over. And your people is passed on that you thinking is dead. They on the other side wait for you to get your stuff together. This is a big prison house, and your body came into the physical function because the sun inside got encased into this particular body. So this body is nothing but a big prison house that limits you from doing your stuff when you used to be gods. You see what I'm saying? So as a result, you became into the lower vibratory rate. Now, what is the deal with this thing? What you know as the physical does not exist. It's not real. This is in physics. What you know as the physical is low vibratory rate. It's called a hologram. This is in quantum physics now. This is a holographic universe. You thinking this is real because you born in this world and for some reason this is all you know, so you thinking it's real. If nobody, I'm saying if somebody told you that the spiritual world, taught you that the spiritual world was real from the beginning, you would know that the spiritual world was real, and in actuality, this is all an illusion. You see what I'm saying? This is all an illusion. So what happened was, after so many years of being gods in Atlantis, you fell into the illusion, and your spiritual center shut down, and then what happened was, in the first time, the spiritual world was clear, and you communicated with all your brothers and sisters on the universe beat, the real universe. Okay. And the physical world was dim. As the vibratory rate slowed down and you slowly started becoming more and more physical, the physical world became more clear, and the spiritual world became dim, and your third eye shut down. So you are asleep. And what you fell into is a sleep, which is all a hologram. It does not exist. You understand what I'm saying? This is a holographic universe. It's just that you were born in this and you think this is the real world. So when your people die, you crying for them. They have crossed over into the real world and they're crying for you because you're the one in hell. You see what I'm saying? So now what's getting ready to happen is the cycle is over and you're getting ready to go back into the spiritual world. You see what I'm saying? You're getting ready to go back into the spiritual world. Now here's a book. And this is, now see, there's one thing to talk about the occult. There's another thing to talk about physics. Physics is what the white boy has concluded that he has ample evidence that he puts it in physics and science. This is called a holographic universe by Michael Talbot, based on the melanin in you that links you back to the black holes in space. And he proved that you was God in the Mind Brain Report of 1983. In 1981, he came out with what is called the holographic universe, and he said that all this down here was a hologram.
I talk about that too in my book, Killing the Illusion We Call Disease. In fact, the first chapter talks about the big oil industry, and it's called Big Oil and how it fueled the pharmaceutical company. I heard not be cough, so I ain't gonna get deep into it. But it gets, so you can read about that in the book. But yes, being sick literally fuels pharmaceutical companies, literally fuels big food industry, because you know big food industry and the pharmaceutical companies is a feedback loop, and they're all owned by the same shareholders. And we dive deep into that research in the book. So yes, you being sick actually feeds other people. You being healthy, you being in a state of sovereignty, you growing your own food, you welling your own water, you raising your own children. If you raise your own children, that takes them away from the educational system. So now you're not paying, you know, because they call it public school, but the taxes really pay for it. So now you're not paying institutes to teach your children, you know, this limited mindset, because you're homeschooling your children. If you're growing your own food, you do not need to go to a grocery store. So you're not paying for groceries. There's spray with herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, there's GMO anyway that's going to kill you. And then you don't have to pay tax that's on those groceries, because you're paying for the groceries plus the tax. So growing your own food makes you have more money.
And this is exactly what the Age of Aquarius is all about. Listen.
Y'all, it has been in our face the entire time. The entire time. Okay, hear me out. So you have African Americans. The word American is in the title. You have Native American Indians. The word American is in the title, meaning they're native to America. And then you have Caucasians. Where does that come from? Because I don't know of a country called Caucasia. Do you? I don't. What's weird about that is you have Italians that are native to Italy. You have Russians native to Russia. You have Mexicans native to Mexico. You have Chinese native to, guess where? China. So if white people were actually native to this country, we would just be called Americans, but we're not. We're called either white or Caucasian. So there's a big question there. And white people, if you actually think that you are indigenous to this land in America, you are not. The actual indigenous people would be the Native American Indians, and it would be the African Americans, really known as melanated people or Moors. Moors is the correct terminology. So I just want to let everyone know, but I just came to this realization and I'm like, holy crap, it's always been in the title in front of our face.
They say God don't make mistakes, right? So since it's always been in our faces, you know, what are we gonna do about it? I mean, 400 years later, I'm sure you always knew that, you know what I'm saying? But what are we gonna do about it now? You know, we're in a new age, you know, things are a little shaky right now. Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to make this right? I mean, you know, it's happening regardless. I told y'all what Donald Trump is doing because he's breaking it down in order to make it right again. You know what I'm saying? But the word Caucasian got the word Asia in it, so do you belong somewhere in Asia? I don't know. You know, since we know something about this now, what are we gonna do about it, y'all? Let me know down in the comments below. The shift is here, man. Y'all better wake up. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
Alright, y'all, last few clips is crazy. Especially with the one with being sick, you know, it fuels these pharmaceutical companies, and that's something we all gotta look into. But yeah, reaching the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment, and also hype me up. And before we leave, I'd love to leave y'all with a few words. Who can't hear must feel. Those that feels it knows it. And once you know better, you do better. And the truth always sets you free. I'm out.